Good afternoon, 39 minutes after 4 o'clock. I'm Nana Akweer on GB News. We are Britain's news channel. Now, US President Donald Trump has reached his first 100 days in the White House. Let's take a look at his most iconic moments.
That I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States.
the office of President of the United States. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
Next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so.
We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens.
How you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash?
Because I have common sense.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. You know, you think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. And the most extraordinary first 100 days of any presidency in American history.
I think my favourite moment, sadly, wasn't on there, but there were so many good moments, weren't there? But the one where he said that women and men are biologically different, which was great. Right, joining me now is the Chief Strategist for Republicans Overseas, Erol Morkoc. Erol, welcome to the programme. So it's 100 days. What is your assessment in terms of if you take on what the American people are thinking? Because there must be a sort of zeitgeist as to how they feel that Donald Trump is doing.
Yeah, you know, I've been all over the country, and it's been interesting to see people's reactions compared to what the polls say. A lot of people are actually very sophisticated, and they understand the importance of what he's doing, especially when it comes to the border. When you look at the 20 million people that came in through President Biden and the hundreds of thousands per month, contrasting to last month, I think we had a couple hundred. Trump said 3 people secretly got in, and very few people did. You're seeing the raids of the Tren de Agua gang members. You're seeing the deportations of people who have been released and committed crimes over and over and over. And that stuff is really hitting home in a way that the mainstream media isn't picking up as how important that is to everybody in his first 100 days. Now, there has been, you know, I would say broad-based concern about the tariffs. People don't really know what that means for them, if there's going to be an offset in taxes, but nothing has really hit in that respect yet. So Trump is still in the negotiating area there. I think when it comes to foreign policy, a lot of people loved what they saw. They saw Donald Trump standing up for peace, standing up for humanitarian causes, realizing that while it might be unpopular, peace unpopular, I know, what a crazy concept, it's something that needs to happen. And while his talk with Zelensky, there was, you know, great TV moments from it, what has it produced? It's produced a closer relationship. It's put pressure on Russia. And you've seen Zelensky and Trump actually come closer and closer together, as evidenced at the Pope's funeral. So the first 100 days, I think, have gone swimmingly for anybody who's on the inside. I think for a broad spectrum of Americans, there has been some concern about the move fast and break things, almost Silicon Valley mindset. But that's what Trump promised to bring. He's kept his promises. I had friends who said to me, "What are these tariffs?" I said, "Well, did you watch the campaign? He promised the auto workers in Detroit what they've been promised for 40 years, and he's the first guy to deliver it." And so I think broadly, everybody is quite on board. There has been a few small things, but even the deportations that get negative press, you talk to regular Americans, they're happy about that. And when an American goes to prison, an American, you know, faces the music, and they see that foreign people don't face those same crimes, it's insulting. So I think all in all, he's done a really great job to his supporters. He has his detractors. He has been very loud and boisterous, and he has sort of blown up the traditional methodology for international trade. But that's exactly what we need to help the American worker and to help the future of the economy. So I'm quite bullish, and I think a lot of people are too.
Well, I mean, you can't, if you don't, if your trade is zero, as in your trade tariff is zero, then you've got nothing to negotiate. So it makes sense. As soon as you rock it up, then the people need to negotiate with you. You force them to the table, which I think was quite intelligent. What about, do you think now, though, that a lot of the American people have opened their eyes to the behaviour of the media? Because I think that's one of the things that the media was so manipulative in this whole initially when Donald Trump was obviously trying to get re-elected. Do you think that has been one of the sort of casualties that the Americans kind of no longer really trust the media?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, and it's emphasized by the numbers. I mean, CNN gets less views than a women's basketball game. They're not that anybody has a problem with women's basketball games, but they don't have a lot of viewership in the U.S. is my point. So there's nobody watching traditional media. Everybody's going to the podcast. They're going to the Twitter, the X. They're finding influencers, and you see, interestingly, we saw in Canada the Conservatives lose. What did the Conservatives not do? Any of the strategy that Trump did, which was going on to those decentralized platforms and getting their message out. They tried to go through traditional media. It didn't work because nobody's watching traditional media. And Americans oftentimes have been skeptical of their, let's say, chosen speakers or chosen media personalities. And these people have been caught lying time and time again, whether it be 60 Minutes, which is one of the most trusted names in American news, completely destroyed their reputation by editing the video of Kamala Harris. I mean, it's quite embarrassing that they did that. And many people are settling lawsuits with Donald Trump. And it's sort of, all coming out in the wash. And it's creating a whole new world of media. You see the new press pool in the White House has dynamic young influencers and podcasters and people asking questions from their audience. They'll say, oh, Karen in Mississippi has this question, Mr. President, and they'll ask her question. And I think that's the new media we're getting out of it. So they're losing confidence in media, but they're getting new, better media that they're getting more confidence in. So it's a give or take.
All right, well, listen, I'm literally running out of time. We've got about 10 seconds. So I wonder, out of 10, marks out of 10, what would you give Donald Trump for his first 100 days?
9.8.
9.8.
I give 9.8.
That's pretty great. All right, Erol Morkoc, thank you very much. Really good to speak to you. He is from the Republicans Oversee UK. Right, well, if you're looking for